Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Osil. Today I have no makeup on because I thought I would do like a get ready with me using all the shades in my Pan That Palette project. So this is an update for that, and I've also reached my goal on a few of these shades, so it's going to be fun to roll in some new shades to work on. Let's start with this one, the Pastels palette from BeautyBay. I actually surprisingly reached my goal on this one very quickly. So I was working on the Euphoria shade, the pinky purple shade that's in here. And I wanted to hit pan on this one, and I thought it was going to be quite the challenge, but I actually only used this twice and then I hit pan. So this is what that one looks like now. I believe I took pictures of both of those makeup looks, so I'm going to show you later on in the video. So I'm really happy about that. I thought I was going to have to work on this for a while, but I didn't. It's not my favorite shade either, so I'm glad it wasn't that big of a challenge. But yeah, it did surprise me a little bit that because I don't believe it is a shade I've used too much, but that's okay. I hit pan. I'm gonna roll in something new this time. And then the Anastasia Norvina palette, I had two shades that I worked on in this palette. We had the rose gold palette, rose gold eyeshadow. The usage goal was 20 uses on that one, and then dazzling, which I had 10 uses of, or 10 a usage goal of 10, and I reached my goal on both of those. We have rose gold. All right, I'm gonna have to stop myself there because I completely pointed at the wrong shades, but it's basically an update here, and this is from last update, the last update that I did. So I'm really happy about that. I like both of these shades, but they do have a lot of fallout. I prefer the matte shades over the metallics in this palette. It is just not my favorite palette, but I've talked about that a ton in other videos, so I'm not gonna repeat myself too much. But I also realized that the MAC Satin Taupe eyeshadow that I also wanted to work on this time around. I don't have a usage goal on this or anything, but I just wanted to work on it. This is so similar to the Dazzling shade in Norvina. You could not see the difference pretty much at all once it was on your eyes. I'm gonna see if you can really see it when I swatch. You can't. It looks like it has completely different undertones. So this is Dazzling and this is Satin Taupe. They look so different. I don't understand, but they are so similar on the eye. So that's that. And then we have Smitten in Switzerland, the BH Cosmetics palette. I had a usage goal of 20 with this shade Bern, as in the city Bern, this metallic beautiful green shade. I have used this 9 times so far, so I'm still going to be working on that. Probably like one of my favorite eyeshadow palettes. I absolutely love this palette, so I don't mind using this, and it's also a perfect fall palette, which is great this time of year. Then I will also be working on my Chill Tones palette from Mekka. This is a Norwegian cruelty-free, very affordable brand. Just a very simple, everyday shade, taupey metallic shade, this one right here. And I do really like this palette, but you can tell that it's not the best quality. They can be a little bit patchy, but I have been able to make this work pretty well so far. So that's good. So I will be continuing to use this. 12 uses so far. And those are all the 5 shades that I've been working on this time around. And so I will be rolling out 3 shades, and I will be rolling in 3 new shades. I do have a new eyeshadow palette. I got this for my birthday, and this is the Balm Volume 3 Nude Beach Palette. Now I remember this was pretty popular when it first came out, and I remember really liking it. I've been a fan of the Balm for the longest time, but I kind of forgot about the brand, and I don't really think I have much from the brand now, if I have anything at all. So I was really excited when I got this. The mirror was broken, so I just taped over the mirror. Made sure there wasn't any glass or anything in the shadows, and they were so beautiful. I could probably quickly swatch them for you guys. Those are the shades in my new palette, and yeah, I really like them. I've only used the palette once just to try it out and get an idea, and they were really nice to work with. I really liked it. So this will now be included in my collection, so it could be potentially one of the shades that I one of the palettes where I choose a shade to work on. And also lastly, I'm just going to mention the gold eyeshadow that I'm tracking. I have used 28 times so far this year. This is what that one looks like. I kind of feel like I'm getting closer and closer now to actually hitting pan. It could probably happen anytime soon now, but we'll see. The pans are fairly deep, I would say. Okay, I'm just going to go and wash this off, and then we'll choose some new shades to work on. Actually, before we begin to roll in the new shades, I want to show you some makeup looks that I did. I did do a few looks where I combined the Dazzling and Rose Gold shade from the Norvina palette. So this was one of those makeup looks. They all seem, or they all look very similar. So I'm just showing you this one picture. And then I have these two, or maybe I put them, I don't know where I put them, but I have 2 makeup looks to show you where I used the pinky shade from the Pastels palette, and I really like both of the eyeshadow looks. So with both of the eyeshadow looks, I combined the pink shade from the Pastels palette with the rose gold shade in Norvina, and I just thought that combination was really nice. I really like that combination, and I really enjoyed both of the looks. I thought this was a little bit interesting, so I just applied Dazzling all over the lid, and I just dabbed a tiny bit of Bern, the green shade from the BH Cosmetics palette, right on the middle of the lid, and I just thought that was a nice little touch to the makeup look. This was just one of the eyeshadow looks I did with the Bern shade, and I also combined it with the Inglot Gold shade. And yeah, I just used a lot of the shades that were in the Smitten in Switzerland palette. The orange shade and a brown shade, and the yellow shade that's in the inner corner is actually one of the singles, the Freedom System singles from Inglot. That's like a yellow, matte yellow trio. So I think those are the makeup looks I'm going to show you, and now let's roll in some new shades. So we have 1 through 239. Oh, 235. So that would be in the new palette. That's very exciting. So we're going to see which color or which shade that is in just a second. 235. We're going to roll in 2 more shades. So we have 146 and number 1. All right, so I found all the shades, and I'm really excited. So the first shade I rolled in is the shade Bright, and the new eyeshadow palette that I have, the Nude Beach from the Balm. Matte rosy pink shade, like that. And then I rolled in the Makeup Battle Punkella Beauty from Mekka palette. So this is yet another Makeup Mekka palette. And the shade Troublemaker, which is a warmer, well, it's more like neutral, I'd say, maybe, matte brown. They go well together. And then that number 1 was the So Shaded palette. Kathleen Lights and Colourpop made this palette years ago, so this is getting old now, but I still have it, I still use it. It is the shade called Diamond right here. This had like Super Shock shadow consistency, but it's pretty dry now, so it's not really, it doesn't perform the same way anymore, but it's just a beautiful topper shade, kind of. So those are the 3 shades that I'm going to be rolling in. Let's decide on a usage goal. I think I want to do a usage goal of 20 on all of these shades. And then again, I have the shade Chill Out from the Chill Tones palette, Makeup Mekka palette. And lastly, at the bottom there I have Bern, the metallic green shade from BH Cosmetics Smitten in Switzerland palette. And I think this is a beautiful color palette to work with for the coming months. And I'm going to create a makeup look with these shades. So I am usually pretty boring. I'm not super creative with my makeup looks anymore. I used to be, but I kind of just, I just want to go fairly natural. Once in a while I do want to have fun, but I am going to get my car fixed in an hour or so, so I need to look presentable and not crazy looking, I feel like. So it won't be, I don't think it's going to be super creative, but we'll see where we're going to take this. I'm going to try to include all of the shades, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. Starting out with a little spritz of the Colourpop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Setting Mist. Now I have done some of my skincare, but not all. I kind of like to go a little bit back and forth with my skincare for several reasons, but I start with my eyeshadow, with my Milani eyeshadow primer. I like to let the primer set for a little bit, and then I just go over with a nude matte shade, just really lightly. Then I'm going to do the Troublemaker, the matte brown shade. I want to do a little bit of that in the, well, not straight in the crease, I just want to go a little bit above. And I also want to use a little bit of the same shade on my lower lash line. I'm kind of just connecting and shaping it a little bit on the outer part of the eye there. Then I want to go in with a little bit of a smaller eyeshadow brush, still kind of fluffy, and then use the bright shade from the Balm palette and kind of work that straight in the crease. Using it like this, it doesn't feel or seem too pigmented, but I like that I can build it up. I switched out the brush to use the Petite Eye Blender from Zoeva instead. I think that might work a little bit better because it's more dense. Next, I want to use this tiny little, super affordable detail brush. This I got from H&M years and years ago, and I want to use that green metallic shade from the BH Cosmetics and kind of work that into the outer part of the eye. I do have this tiny little eyeliner in gold, Gold Digger from Makeup Store, that I want to use on my lower lash line. Then I do have the Chill Out shade. I just wonder if it's a little bit dark for me all over the lid. Let me just try and apply it right next to that green shade and working it a little bit into the inner corner. I want to try the, what's it called, diamond shade in the So Jaded palette. I just don't know if it's opaque enough to be applied, like not on top of something else, but I'm gonna try. Yeah, I think I like the way that looks. It's simple, it's not super exciting, but I like the way it looks. I've used all the shades, and we'll see how it comes together with the face makeup. I'm just gonna take off all my fallout, anything that has traveled around the rest of my face, and I'm gonna continue. So hold on. Cannot wait to play more with these shades. I'm just setting the eyeshadow. I totally forgot to use a glitter glue because I often do that when I am working with glittery fallout kind of shades. So yeah, but it does help to set the eyeshadow after. And then I just apply my eye cream because I need to apply my eye cream right before I apply concealer because I'm so dry underneath my eyes that it's just very difficult to blend the concealer if I don't do it like that. I kind of feel like because of the warmth from the brown eyeshadow, I want to choose this one. The Milani Luminoso blush that I'm sure most of you are familiar with. Sometimes I go in with a corrective concealer before foundation, sometimes after. I think today I'm going to do after. I mix these two as my base. The Dr. Circle Pro Balance Biotics Moisturizer. This is a really nice moisturizer. I like to use it in the summertime, but it does contain hyaluronic acid, and I'm very sensitive to that ingredient, so I don't use it in the cooler, drier months of the year. Then we have Makeup Mekka Soft Dewy Hydrating Foundation with light buildable coverage for normal to dry skin. I am absolutely loving this foundation. As you can see, it's far too dark for me, so that's why I blend it with my moisturizer. So I just do a little bit of that and then a few drops of the foundation. And it doesn't cover much, but it just gives me a nice glow, I feel like. To be honest, I am kind of missing a foundation with better coverage these days because I have so much hyperpigmentation that I want to cover, but I try to do that with my concealer instead. Then I go in with the Sigma Spectrum Color Correcting Duo in light to medium. I really enjoy this thing. Just mix the two shades and I apply. I have a bunch of foundation on my nails, sorry. I apply that right underneath, like this is my problem eye. The other one is fine, but this eye has like so much dryness and eczema, and it's just really hard to work with. So I just have to work in very, very light layers. So it's like I just have to experiment with what is working and what isn't. I also like to go in with the RMS Beauty Uncover Up in the shade 11.5. So just do a little bit more of that right where I have all these blue veins and just any like imperfections around my face, any redness, things like that, I go in with this really lightweight concealer. I just really enjoy this concealer for that. I also have hyperpigmentation around my lips, which is so fun. It's hard to cover that in a nice way and make sure it stays covered all throughout the day. And then lastly, I use a lot of concealers, and yeah, I have the Anastasia Norvina High Glam Concealer in the shade N2, and I just apply the tiniest little bit of that where I have my hyperpigmentation and just a little bit underneath my eyes. On this eye, it's just barely there. I just need a very, very thin layer of it, but it does help. It does cover a little bit, and it's very high coverage, so I just need a little bit. All right, I've covered enough. I look like a ghost, I know. That's me, but that's okay. Embrace yourself. I'm gonna let all the cream products sink into the skin while I do apply this eyeliner in Blonde from Isadora. And don't drag your under eyes like I just did. The Essence Super Last 24 Hour Eyebrow Pomade Pencil in, what shade is this? I can't remember the shade. I think it's light or medium brown. It's a little bit on the dark side, but it still works fine. I'm just very light-handed. I don't know how that turned out. Eyebrows is always, that's like my least favorite thing to do, makeup wise. Eyebrow powder in light ash brown from Jordana, my absolute oldest makeup item in my collection. This has to be like 10 years old or so. I actually thought about making a video about the oldest makeup I have in my collection and why I still have it. I find that to be quite interesting to see why I've actually kept the products that are so old. Maybe that could be interesting in this underconsumption trendy kind of thing that is going on right now. So let me know if you want to see a video like that. And because I have dry skin, I only use the tiniest bit of powder underneath my eyes and a little bit where I've like concealed. But we're talking just the bare minimum of powder, barely there. But I do find that it works to set it just a little bit for it to last all day or most of the day. I'm not going to show you, but I am working on my bronzer from my project pan, the one from Model Co. And it is getting very dark for this season. So I'm going super light-handed. Then we have the Luminoso blush. That works, it's like a 2-in-1 product. It works great as highlighter as well. It's just very glowy. So I normally don't use a highlighter in addition to this blush whenever I use it. It's just super glowy on its own. And then before I apply my mascara, I go over once again with my setting mist. I'll let that dry a little bit before applying my mascara. I am using the Clarins Wonder Perfect Mascara 4D. This is in Perfect Black, I think it's called. The writing is very small. But yeah, this is what I've been using for the past few weeks, and even though I think this is a beautiful mascara, it does everything a mascara is supposed to do. There's two things that doesn't work out great for me, but it might work out great for you. It just depends on what you want in a mascara. And I also have to say, it doesn't like shed or flake or anything throughout the day, which is great. But the two things that makes it hard for me to absolutely love it is that I do prefer a mascara that isn't as black because I'm so pale. I just think it looks better on me with a dark brown mascara maybe. So I think probably going forward, I don't know, because I do have so many backups of mascara that are all black, so I'm not sure. But yeah, I'm just thinking I would probably go for more brown mascaras in the future. The other thing is, it's initially a good thing, but for me it's not these days, the fact that it is almost impossible to remove. It is so, I don't even know if they claim to be waterproof, but it is very hard to remove. And I have to like thug on the eye. I use all kinds of makeup removers. Like I use my regular one, the one that is good for sensitive skin. I use 3 pumps of that, or like I double cleanse and then I triple cleanse basically, and then I go in with a waterproof makeup remover in the end, and it's just not the best for me because my eyes are so sensitive and prone to break out with eczema and super dry. So just spending a lot of time trying to remove my mascara isn't ideal for me these days. I'm applying the Linda Hallberg Liptastic Pink, no, what is it called? I think it's like Fantastic Pinktastic Lipstastic, something like that. But the shade name is Pink Opal, and I really enjoy this lipstick. It's so beautiful. It's like a lip balm, a tinted lip balm with SPF 30, I believe. So can really recommend this one. And that is it. That is my finished makeup look. Very simple, very everyday, not super fun and creative, but it is what I kind of wanted to get out of my makeup look for today. So I like it. I hope you enjoyed this update. I hope you will tune in next time, and I hope you have a good day. Bye.